Hello and welcome to the Lund University International Podcast. On the show, you'll hear from current students, alumni, researchers, professors, and many more special guests as we explore what it's really like to live, study, and work at Lund University, a world top 100 university. My name is Meg, and I am a current student in the Masters of Applied Cultural Analysis program from Seattle, USA, as well as a student worker here in the External Relations Office. Today, we're chatting with the team behind the International Desk. We'll dive into what the International Desk is, how it's helping students navigate their first weeks at Lund, and the services it provides, from practical advice to connecting you with other essential student services. Plus, we'll hear about their new location, common questions from international students, and some valuable tips for those just starting their Lund University journey. We have 3 lovely guests in the studio with us today. You guys could go ahead and start by introducing yourselves.
Yeah, my name is Zach. I'm a student relations officer, and I am the person who is manning the student reception at the moment most days, the international desk, and also answer the emails, queries, and the phone.
My name is Maria. I'm also a student relations officer, and I also assist with answering emails and the student reception email, as well as manning the desk some days.
Yeah, and my name is Hanna. I'm also student relations officer, and I also work at the international desk and also call student reception.
Awesome. Thank you 3 for joining us today. And we'll start with the most basic question. What is the International Desk? I've heard you guys say student reception as well. Could you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, so the Swedish word for international desk, or the Swedish word that we use, is student reception. Mm-hmm. And we also have the English name, which is international desk. And it's because we're here for all students, both Swedish and international ones.
I see. And what sort of resources are students accessing when they go to you? Why would a student go to the International Desk?
So it's a big variety of questions that people come to us with. So as Hanna said, it's both students that contact us, but also the rest of society. So it can be recruiters, it can be students that have studied with us, potential students we get a lot of questions from, and it can be anything from how do I apply? I got this information. How do I continue work? Where can I find more information about this? Who's my coordinator? Mm-hmm. Can I take these courses? Can I drop these courses? It can be anything, right?
Sort of like a catch-all email. So if you don't know where to go, we're usually a pretty good first email to reach out to, and then we'll send you to the right person if it's something that we can help you with. We really get all kinds of questions. So
the other week, we got a question from someone asking how many shares we have at the university.
How many shares?
Shares, like physical shares.
Okay.
So it can be it's like a big variety from, hey, I just get admitted. How do I get the resident permit? But it could also be a question about how many shares.
Did you give them an answer how many chairs we have at the university?
So I was thinking about starting to count, but I realized that it's too tricky. Mm-hmm. So we can say unfortunately, we cannot answer it. But I would say that we know little about a lot of things, just like Zach said. So we get questions and then we know who to redirect the question to at university. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what we do a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I once got a question about someone asking about a patent that they wanted, and they wanted me to forward that to the top people at the university. You really get unexpected things every day.
Okay. But you guys are okay with that. If a student reaches out, you're okay with kind of being the catch-all and happy to redirect them if
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, of course.
Awesome. And you've mentioned there's a few different ways to get in contact with you. So the email, it sounds like you're available during phone hours as well. And then, of course, you do have a physical location, right? And I've heard that you've moved.
Yeah, so we just new premises. It's since the beginning of the year. Mm-hmm. So now we're located at the Faculty of Medicine at Medicon. It's a brand new building, mm-hmm. very fancy. And we share their reception with people working at the Faculty of Medicine. We have our own corner desk there. So that's where you find us.
Okay.
But still even though we're located in their facilities, we're still open to all students and anyone who wants to come and get some information. So it's just a location that is faculty specific. Our services are still for everyone.
Okay. And so how might your services look different from, for example, helping a prospective student versus a newly arrived, newly admitted student? What sort of questions do they ask and how does that differ?
A newly admitted student would probably ask questions about housing, for example. How do I get housing in Lund? Or once they arrive, where do I buy a bike? How do I get the Swedish personal number? But the student that currently here could, for example, ask us, I'm not feeling well, I'm a bit sick, which healthcare clinic should I go to? Or they don't manage to call one, and sometimes we help out to make doctor's appointment if needed. So yeah, that's not our main job, maybe we should say, but the services depends a bit on the student situations.
And the prospective student, a lot of times they ask, what documents do I need? How do I get in contact with someone who can help me with the application process, for example, or understanding the requirements, or for maybe exchange student, maybe who do I contact at Lund University, because maybe they've gotten information that they've been admitted here and going on an exchange here, but the next steps they are not really sure about. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time between maybe getting a positive answer and then maybe the next step. So somebody sending you information about the next step.
And then, for example, if you had a visitor who was neither prospective nor an admitted student quite yet, in between, maybe they heard about you guys during the tour, saw you on the website, are they allowed to visit you as well? And what sort of information can you provide to somebody new to Lund who's just thinking about the university?
Of course, they can really ask us about anything that they want to in terms of like the student life in Lund, what things there are to do here. Practically in terms of how do they get in touch with the program that they're interested in, how do they get physically maybe to a faculty. We really try to answer just about anything, and even when we can't answer, usually we'll have a pretty good idea of where to go to get an answer.
I think that the main point of the Internationals Desk is not to only be a service for students. So it's for anyone. It's a very broad group, I guess, but we are literally serving anyone who's interested. If you have a short question, it can be anything. If they're interested in anything related to university, it doesn't necessarily have to be studies. Maybe they're looking for a specific place or want to borrow a book or need help getting in contact with the police, for example, anything like that. We're also usually very capable of answering those questions as well.
Wow, okay. Definitely a catch-all, like you've mentioned. What are your opening hours? Are you guys available during the summer? Or is that something students should be looking out for when they come in the fall?
I think that you always should check our website before visiting us in case that it's for some reason closed or so on. But at the moment, we have visiting hours Tuesdays to Friday between 9:30 and 12:30, and phone hours every weekday between 10 and 12. And for the summer, I think it will be a bit shorter when we're open, but it will all be on our website. So we will be open the whole summer. Just make sure that they come on the right day when we are there.
Perfect. And will the email be available all summer as well?
Sure.
Okay.
Of course.
Awesome. Do you guys have any advice that you would maybe recommend based off of all of these questions that you're constantly getting, things that you think an incoming international student would want to know before coming to Lund?
I think a lot in terms of like the practical aspects of moving and staying in Sweden. Sometimes students maybe take for granted that certain things will already be arranged by the time they get here, when actually we have to explain like, no, you have to deal with this on your own in terms of like housing, in terms of getting a personnummer, of course, and all of these different things that need to be sorted out with different government agencies and such. So definitely look into that. And we have a pretty good information on the website as well, where you can find all kinds of information about housing, about like things to think about financially, things to think about in terms of like student life and the different opportunities you have, student health services. There's really a lot of resources available for students if they just know where to look.
It is part of our job, but I think if you're an international student and you would feel like you don't understand something or you feel like you really need an answer to something, please do send an email. Don't hesitate to send an email. Sometimes the things that might take you a while to figure out, maybe we have gotten questions about that many times. We know really right away where to direct you. So rather send one question too many than keep on being stressed about something that they can send to us.
And maybe it could also be good to know, because I guess it differs from where you come from, which culture you're used to. But normally at the university, it's normal that you contact someone before meeting them. So it's a bit tricky to come to us and say, hey, I want to meet this person today. Can I just visit their room? Because some staff are working from home some days, some at the university. And also that even though we're trying to reply on your email the same day, there might be some responding time. And that goes for all people that you contacted in university. So don't panic if you don't get an answer in an hour, because it might be some time before the staff have time.
We handle a lot of emails, so sometimes it does take a while, especially during like the peak seasons during the year, right around admission and like arrival and such. So we'll reply eventually.
Okay, and speaking of peak season, I know that as a student myself, I definitely use the international desk the most during my first few weeks here at Lund. So I imagine it's quite a busy time for you guys. There's a lot going on around the desk there. So can you kind of talk about those first few weeks of classes or the orientation weeks and what the international desk can provide during those times?
Yeah, so during arrival day, which is when most international students are encouraged to arrive in Lund, the international desk is present at the arrival day venue. So if you have any questions related to maybe you need help with the SIM card, you got a document that you can't read, or you need your certificate of registration, or questions about that, the international desk is there during the whole opening hours of arrival day venue to answer those questions. And after that, of course, they're very welcome to visit our physical reception. The international desk is also involved in organizing some social activities. So some of the staff members behind the international desk help arrange those activities. And also students that have been admitted to a program or our exchange students will be getting information also sent from the international desk, but that's even before they arrive. So a couple of months before arrival day, they will be getting information from us as well, on top of the information they get from their coordinators, maybe, or faculty. So in that sense, we're involved with the communication as well a little bit.
Okay. And then I know, as you've said, that, students are always welcome to reach out to you. It's better for them to reach out and maybe you direct them somewhere else than have them not reach out. But are there certain things that the international desk cannot help with, or certain questions you get a lot that maybe you end up redirecting you could talk about now?
Yeah, as I said before, we know little about a lot of things, but we cannot help about like program-specific questions when it comes to which documents should I upload for this specific program, or I'm an exchange student and I want to drop this course, which course can I take? So everything that is connected to academia, those questions are not really answered by us if it's about your studies. But everything else that is practical around your studies, we are more than happy to help.
As well, when it comes to admissions in Sweden in general is handled through a centralized service. And I think a lot of students, when first coming here or thinking about applying here, they don't really know that's how it works here. And you have to go through them through a university admissions before it is actually processed, and then it arrives at the university, and then it's something the university can help you with. And we can definitely help you with finding out who these people are and how to contact them. But in terms of like actually editing things in your application or stuff like that, quite often it's out of our control.
But I think an interesting point that you also bring up here, we can, in many difficult questions, we can redirect you to the right person. And that can be a little bit frustrating maybe for people who are emailing us, this is my problem, it's a big problem for me, it's a stressful problem for me. And then a lot of times maybe we have to be emailing and answering saying that, you need to contact this person instead. But the reason why we do that is we could answer it to the best of our abilities, but there's most likely another person who will have a lot more details, a lot better answer that we have. And also something that we also don't answer in the international desk is questions related to specific details relating to migration. So questions relating to, I have applied and I need to do an application for migration to the migration agency. What do I need to do? I got this result. What do I need to do? We cannot answer those questions. We're never able to answer very personal questions. We can, of course, you can send them to us and then we can find out the right person to answer it, but we are not able to answer those, and we cannot do anything and contact any agency either. We don't have a direct number to the migration agency, for example. Those things we cannot do either. But we can help find the right person.
Unfortunately. Sometimes I wish we did have a direct contact, but...
Don't we all? Okay. And yeah, it sounds like you guys, you have mentioned a few different places that you kind of send these questions to. So maybe the Student Health Center, the local police, the migration agency. Are there any other services throughout Lund University that you guys often send these students to that they should be maybe reading up on before they come?
There are a lot of good services at the university. As a new student arriving, you need to activate your student account. So the IT service is a good place to know about that we cannot really help with IT questions. So I would recommend students to look at that. But otherwise, we have a lot of good services like the Student Health Center, the Multi-Chaplaincy, the Academic Support Center,
and Disability Support Center also. I think for especially for international students, I mean, it's a big thing to move here, and there's a lot of questions involved with actually the physical move here and establishing yourself here. But I think when the semester actually starts and you start to studying, the system might be very different from what you're used to. And then the Academic Support Center and the Student Health Center are very good places and to go to as a student, or those are the places that we also direct students as well.
Perfect. Well, it sounds like we've gotten a very good overview about everything that the International Desk has to offer. Is there anything else that you guys would like to add or maybe recommend to students? Any advice that you give them?
I think we would all say that we really like when the students come and visit us. It's a part of the job that all of us like. And it's nice to answer email, but it's also really rewarding to meet people in our jobs and to be able to help on site.
Yeah.
So we really welcome everybody to come by, or just come by and say hello, or that everybody feels welcome.
Yeah, don't be afraid to pop by and just say hello. And if there's anything we can help you with, we'll try our best.
And I think that if you're as a student thinking, oh, who could answer this question or where should I go to? The International Desk is definitely the first thing you can send an email to. Start there and we'll see how we can help you forward.
Perfect. Well, as we mentioned, the International Desk is available in person in Forum Medicum, one of our new buildings. Check their hours online on our website. Over email, could you mention what the email is?
Yes, student reception @lu.se.
Perfect. Or via phone hours, depending on the hours, keeping in mind that there's possibly a time difference that you guys should be thinking about. Thank you all so much for joining us today. It's been a lovely conversation. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Lund University International Podcast. If you're interested in learning more about Lund University, you can go to our website, lunduniversity.lu.se. You can also follow us on social media, on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and X, and you can connect with our amazing student ambassadors on Unibuddy. Don't forget to subscribe, and we look forward to bringing you a new episode very soon.